Hey guys, I'm T and welcome to the channel. If you're here, we make trendy and fun crochet tutorials twice a week, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe to join in on the fun. Today's tutorial is all about shorts as I continue my push for crochet bottom supremacy. This time we're working with the basket weave stitch, which happens to make for the most homely pair of shorts I've made to date, which I'm super excited to share. Speaking of, if you're looking for more homely crochet makes or chic crochet creations, you are in the right place. We have hundreds of the most modern crochet tutorials and patterns with new patterns weekly, so consider clicking the bell to subscribe and you'll never miss an upload. Also, do me a huge favor and give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, or 2 thumbs down if you don't. Either way, it's a great way to show support so I can keep putting out free tutorials every Wednesday and Sunday. Now it's time to get on the show, so without further ado. For this project, any category 4 yarn will work, but I used a total of 290 grams of yarn, and that's 500 yards if you're stateside. As for tools, a 6mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, and a tape measure. There is a written pattern down below. Use offer code TCDDIY for a discount off any $9.99 plus order. Enter this week's pattern giveaway by telling us the last movie you saw in theaters. Our last movie in theaters was actually the 2017 Justice League. Details for the giveaway down below. We're using 4 stitches for this project, and they'll be as follows. Chain, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. This tutorial is made for a size small, but you can adjust it for your size, and we explain how to in the video, so let's get started. Getting these shorts started, we're all going to grab our category 4 yarn and make a slip knot. Next, we're all going to grab our 6mm hook, and we're all going to start by making a chain that is in multiples of 3, making sure that it ends on an even number of chains that can reach around the widest part of our hips. Now, before I give you guys my numbers, I'm just going to show you guys a really quick tip just to make sure that our chain doesn't twist, since this is going to be quite a long chain. So let's all start by making a chain of 5. Now that we have our chain 5, we are going to pull some slack and pull our hook through that slack loop and insert your hook into that first chain that we made. Insert your slack loop back onto your hook, pull, and now we're going to continue on with our chain per usual. So just yarn over, pull through that first loop, making sure that that second one still stays on. Now for me, I need a total of 33 inches or 83 centimeters. I'm going to make a chain of 102, but I actually already have my chain and first 2 rows finished, so I'm just going to be doing a small sample size with you. So we are back. We should all have our chain all finished up. Now we're going to need to close off our row. So all we're going to do is pull that first chain underneath our second chain, and now we should have formed a circle and our chain should not be twisted. What we're going to do from here is a half double crochet row. So we're going to chain 2 and put 1 half double crochet into every chain. So let's all start by yarning over and finding the first available chain. Insert your hook in through there, yarn over and pull through for a total of 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Let's do this once more. Yarn over, into that following chain, insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Continue with 1 half double crochet into every chain. And a really quick tip, we should have the same amount of half double crochets as chains that we made. We've made our way all the way around with our first half double crochet row. Now what we're going to do from here to close off the row is slip stitch into that second chain that we made. So let's all count up 1, count up 2. Into that second chain, go ahead and insert your hook, then yarn over and pull through everything on our hook to finish off the row. Now the slip stitch that we just did that connected the back to the beginning of the row doesn't count as a stitch. It is going to look like an extra stitch, but it's not. That's just to connect. But what we're going to do from here, since we are working on the waistband, is we're going to do our ribbing. So we're all going to start with a chain 2. From here, we're just going to be doing front and back post double crochets all the way around. So yarn over, finding that first half double crochet from our row 1, we're going to insert our hook underneath the body of that stitch and through the other side, and making sure that we are not counting that chain 2. So this is my first half double crochet right here. I'm going to insert my hook underneath, through the other side, then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. That is a front post double crochet. Now let's do a back. Yarn over. Bring your hook down underneath our work now, in through that next gap, over that next available half double crochet, and through the other side. Then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. We should all have one front post and one back post. Let's do this set again. Yarn over, preparing for a front post double crochet. Finding that next half double crochet from our previous row, bring your hook down, underneath that stitch, through the other side, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then to do another back post, yarn over, bring your hook underneath your work, in through that gap, over the next half double crochet and through the other side, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's it. We're going to continue on with our front and back post double crochets, making your way all the way around. We are back and our first 2 rows are finished. Now from here, all we're going to do is continue to repeat our previous row to extend our ribbing until we get the height of the waistband that we want. So let's just get started on the following row. Right after we've slip stitched into that second chain, let's all chain 2. So since we're not flipping our work, everyone's first stitch should be a front post double crochet. So let's all yarn over, insert your hook underneath that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2 with one front post double crochet. Everyone's following row should be a back post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook underneath your work, through the other side, pull through 2, pull through 2. And that's it. We're going to continue with our front and back post double crochets, making our way all the way around, then continue to repeat this row with no increases and no decreases till we get the height of the waistband that we want. When we do, I will meet you back. I am back, and the height of my waistband is all finished. I have a total of 6 rows, and its height is roughly 2 inches or 5 centimeters, and now we're going to get started on the main portion of our shorts. So from where we're at, we're all going to chain 2. Now for this first row, when it comes to doing the length of our shorts, we're just going to be putting one half double crochet into every stitch. So yarn over, into that first stitch, pull through all 3. Continue with one half double crochet into every stitch, make your way all the way around, and close off this row with a slip stitch into that second chain. And just as a really quick tip, each of our rows so far should have the same amount of stitches as chains that we made, and so will this one. So our first half double crochet row for our shorts portion is all finished up. Now let's get started with our basket weave rows. So from where we're at, let's all chain 2 and flip our work. Now our basket weave rows are going to be fairly similar to our front and back post double crochets. They're just now going to be worked in sets of 3. So it's going to be 3 front posts, 3 back posts, and then repeat. So let's all yarn over, making sure that we're not working into that chain 2. We're going to find that first half double crochet from our previous row and do 1 front post double crochet, and then 1 more front post double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So here is my second, and here is my third front post double crochet. Now that we have those, we're now going to be doing 3 back post double crochets. So yarn over, bring your hook underneath your work, over that next half double crochet, pull through 2, pull through 2, and put 1 back post double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Now we should all have 3 front post and 3 back post double crochets. All we're going to do from here is continue to do 3 front posts and 3 back post double crochets all the way around. When we make our way all the way around, slip stitch into that second chain, and then I'll meet you back. We are back. We have just finished up our second row for our shorts. The first one was that half double crochet row. Second one was the one we just finished. And now what we're going to do from here is chain 2 and flip our work. Now for every odd number row, we're going to be extending our previous row stitches to make them look longer. So as an example, my first 3 set of stitches look like 3 front posts, but if yours look like 3 back posts, you will be doing 3 back posts. So I will be doing my 3 front post double crochets. Now that I have my first 3 stitches, my following 3 stitches look like 3 back posts, so I will be doing 3 back posts into there. From here, we're just going to continue to extend our previous row stitches to reach the end of the row. Our first 1, 2, 3 rows are now finished. Now let's get started on a row 4. So we're all going to chain 2 and flip our work. Now for every even number row, we're going to do the opposite from what our previous row looks like. So as an example, my first set of stitches looks like 3 front post double crochets, so I will be doing 3 back posts, but if yours look like 3 back posts, you will be doing 3 front posts. So just as an example, let's yarn over. I'm going to do my 3 back post double crochets. Now my next set of stitches look like 3 back posts, so I'll be doing 3 front posts into there. And from here, we're just going to continue to do the opposite from what our previous row's stitches look like to reach the end of the row. We are back. Our first 4 rows are finished for the short length, and now we're going to do our row 5. So right after we slip stitch into that second chain, chain 2 and flip. So since this is a row 5, like I said in one of our previous clips, every odd number row is going to extend our previous row stitches. So since my first set of stitches looks like 3 back posts, I will be doing 3 back posts, but if yours look like 3 front posts, you will be doing 3 front posts. Then from here, just continue to extend our previous row stitches to reach the end of the row. So we are back. We have our first 5 rows all finished up. From here, it's going to be a repeat of rows 2 through 5 until we get the short length that we want. So what we're going to do is place our waistband where we want our waistband to be when it's worn, so either high-waisted or low-rise, completely up to you. Then repeat rows 2 through 5, those timestamps will be in the description if you need them, till you're ready to do the middle connector, so roughly till this covers your bottom. I'll meet you back right after an odd number row. Alright, so we are back. I've just finished up the length of the shorts that I want. Now counting from our first half double crochet row, right after our band, I have a total of 17 rows, and this length is just about 7 inches or 18 centimeters, or my total length is 9 inches or 23 centimeters. Now from here we're going to get started on our pant legs, but we're going to need to do our middle connector first. So what we are all going to want to do is insert our stitch markers into our 2 middle stitches. So getting that started, we're going to be inserting our first 2 stitch markers into the stitches that we have on either side of our tail end. So there's one for me, there's my second, and we just want to double check and make sure that we're not accidentally inserting our stitch marker into that slip stitch that connects the beginning to the end of our row. Once we have those 2 stitch markers into place, we're then going to count out half the amount of stitches that we have. We should all have 2 middle stitches since we made an initial chain of an even number of stitches, and then insert your stitch markers into the 2 middle stitches that we have. For those of you that have my numbers, I made an initial chain of 102, so my 2 middle stitches are going to be my 51st and 52nd stitch. Now from here, we're going to get started on our middle connector. So let's flip our work over so that we're looking at the tail end. So all we're going to do from here is make a chain that is in multiples of 3 that can connect the front of our shorts in between our legs to the back of our shorts. What we're all going to do is slip stitch into the stitch marker that we have that's to the left of our tail end. Now we're just doing that so that we can take up this stitch and then connect it into the left stitch within the front panel. Now we could do a chain up of 1 and cut right here and then reinsert our hook into this stitch marker stitch, but we'll have way too many tail ends and I don't really like to deal with them. So what we're going to do is for every size, no matter what, we're just going to slip stitch into that following stitch marker stitch that we have to the left of our tail end. So go ahead and insert, yarn over, pull through everything, and now we're going to make our chain that is in multiples of 3 that connects our front to the back. I've already measured mine out. I need roughly 3 inches or 8 centimeters, so I'm going to make a chain of 12. So now that we have our chain, we're going to slip stitch it into the left stitch marker stitch that we have within the front. So into this stitch marker right over here. So insert, yarn over, and pull through everything to secure our chain down. Now we're just going to single crochet back to make it sturdier. So into the following stitch marker stitch that we have, which is now the stitch to the right, we're going to slip stitch into there. So I'm just going to flip my work over to make it a little bit easier to see. And all I'm going to do is into that next stitch marker stitch that is available, insert your hook into there with a slip stitch. None of these slip stitches count as a stitch, and we're going to flip our work back over because we're going to be putting 1 single crochet into every chain. So just make your way down, putting 1 single crochet into every chain. Alright, so we've just put 1 single crochet into every chain. We're now going to slip stitch it into that following stitch marker stitch that we have, and then we can get started on one of our pant legs. So insert it into there, yarn over, pull through everything. That does not count as a stitch. That is our turning chain. Now from here, we're all going to chain 2, flip our work. So now that our middle connector is connected, what we're all going to do is work back into our middle connector, putting 1 half double crochet into every stitch. So right after we've slip stitched into that chain space, we're going to chain 2 and make your way back with 1 half double crochet into every stitch. And then I'll meet you back when we don't have any more stitches into the middle connector left to work into. So we've just put 1 half double crochet into every stitch, working into the middle connector, and now we're going to work into our basket weave stitches, making our way all the way around. So since the last basket weave stitch that we did for the length of our shorts was an odd number row, we're now going to do an even number row, and same rules still apply. We're going to be doing the opposite from what our previous row's stitches look like. So let's take a look at our first set of stitches. Now this is where my middle connector is. It's going to be at the edge of one of our sets, and this is my first set right over here. Now mine look like 3 front post double crochets, so I will now be doing 3 back post double crochets. But if yours look like 3 back posts, go ahead and do your 3 front posts. So I have my 3 back posts. My next set of stitches look like 3 back posts, so I will be doing the opposite, which is 3 front posts. Now from here, continue to do the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like, and I'll meet you back at the end of the row. Alright, so we've just made our way all the way around with our basket weave stitches, and we are at the beginning of our row. So what we're going to do is slip stitch into that second chain that we made to close off the row, so same as usual. And now from here, just to get started on the following row, we're going to chain 2 and flip our work. Now since this is an odd number row, we are going to be extending our previous row stitches. So since I have 3 front posts, I will be doing 3 front posts. My following stitches will be 3 back posts, so I will be doing 3 back posts. Continue doing this, making your way all the way around until we reach our half double crochet stitches. So when we do our last set of post stitches, and then I'll meet you back. So I'm back. I've made my way all the way around with my basket weave stitches, and now we're at our middle connector. So all we're going to do is just continue on with the set of stitches that we would have been doing, making our way all the way down our middle connector. So just as an example, the last set of stitches that I did was 3 front post double crochets. So into my next 3 stitches, I will be doing 3 back posts, and then from there just continue to alternate between 3 front and 3 back posts. So if you guys ended on back post double crochets, your first 3 stitches into the middle connector are going to be front post double crochets. But either way, just continue on with your row, making your way all the way down. So we just made our way all the way around with our second pant leg row. We're going to slip stitch it into that second chain that we made to close off this row. And now from here, we're just going to continue on until we get the length of the shorts that we want, keeping in mind that we will have a bottom border as well. So just as a refresher, every even number row is going to be the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like, and then every odd number is going to be extending it. I'll meet you guys back right after an odd number row so that we can do the bottom border for the pant leg. Alright, so I am back with the length of my pant leg. It's a little short, but we are going to have a bottom border. Now counting from the first row right after our waistband, I have a total of 21 rows. From right underneath my waistband, it's a total of 8 inches or 20 centimeters, or everything in total is 10 inches or 25 centimeters. Now what we're going to do from here is our bottom band. So we're going to start with a half double crochet row. So from where we're at, chain 2 and flip our work. Now from here, make your way all the way around with 1 half double crochet into every stitch. Alright, so I've made my way all the way around with my half double crochet row. Now we're going to be doing front and back post double crochets like how we did for the waistband. So let's all chain 2. Now from here, we don't need to be flipping our work, so we're just going to find that first half double crochet from our previous row, insert with 1 front post double, into that next stitch, insert with a back post double, and continue doing our front post double and back post double, making our way all the way around. Alright, so we're back. We have just made our way around with our front and back post double crochets, and now from here we're just going to continue to extend our previous row stitches until we get the length of the bottom band that we want. So I'm just going to be doing 1 more row. So just do the first one. I'm going to be working in the same direction. My first stitch is a front post double, so I'll be doing a front post double into there. And continue this until we make our way all the way around, and then I will meet you back right after we do a chain up of 1 and cut. I'm back, and one of my pant legs is completely done, so I did do a chain up of 1 and cut. Now all we're going to do is repeat everything we did here on the other side. So I'm just going to show you where I'm going to be inserting my hook. I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch that I have that is into my middle connector, and we all want to make sure that we're starting with our half double crochets first, and then since this is technically our following even number row, we're going to be doing the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like, and then just continue on with that for the same amount of rows that we have on this side, plus for the bottom border. Once we have all of that finished up, do a chain up of 1 and cut. So I am back. I have just finished up both of my pant legs, and we are nearly finished. The last thing we're going to have to do is just make a super long chain, and then we're going to use that as a drawstring. So I have already made my chain. It is a total of 150 chains. And now all we're going to do is weave it through. So I'm just going to show you guys how I am going to be doing mine, but you guys don't need to do it this way. If you would like to use a tapestry needle or a different tool, that's completely up to you. But I do like to use my hook, especially into these front and back post double crochet bands. So what I'm going to do is find the middle of my bands. So that's fairly easy. I'm just going to trace the middle stitches that I have, making my way all the way up until I reach my waistband. And all I'm going to do is insert my hook where I want my drawstring to be. Now I would like for my drawstring to be right in the middle, but you can insert your hook along the top or along the bottom. That's completely up to you. So I'm just going to move my hook a couple stitches away and then bring it over to the center. Now from here, I'm just going to place my chain on my hook and just weave it through. And then I'm going to pull one end all the way through. I guess I'm pulling this end through. And then leaving one end here so we can use that to tie that in. And I'm just going to continue doing this, making my way all the way around, and then that's going to be our drawstring. Alright, so we are back. We have just finished up weaving on our drawstring, and we are all done. Last thing we're going to have to do is just weave in all of our ends. And there you have it. Hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial. Join us on Instagram, Pinterest, or Twitter. Those links are down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Catch you on the next one. Bye!